Hey there, you beautiful soul. So today we are going to go over 5 techniques for gratitude, and they're very easy to do, and I think you'll find that when you do these, if you're like me, they will help you start to feel more and more grateful each day. And as we develop the habit of doing these in our day-to-day life, our entire perception of the world changes. And I think that you'll find that gratitude, it's not just something that we have. It's not something that's passive, but it's actually something that can be proactive and something that we can go out and do and be active. So I think you'll find that by doing these gratitude techniques, you're going to start feeling better each and every day. They're very easy to do, also very easy not to do. So let's get started with each of these. Figure out which ones that you like and start using them right away to see which ones feel the best for you. So let's get started. So the very first technique for gratitude I'll tell you about is what I call the Mighty 5 technique. And this one is really, it's writing a gratitude list and writing out 5 things that you're truly grateful for. And I like to do it in a specific order, which I'll get to in just a second. The main thing about this is that you do write it out, and I prefer writing out by hand, and I think that's more effective than typing it out on a phone. But if you're not going to do it and not going to write it out, then please type it on the phone. But I believe the way I do it, and it's definitely effective for me, is to be very specific about what you're grateful for, and also to think of new things and not to have the same thing over and over again, because then it loses its potency. And the benefit of this exercise is you going out and greeting and actively appreciating the things on your list and the things in your life, where we're not being passive or reactive on this. It's not waiting for gratitude to come to us and saying, oh, thank you for this wonderful sunset. It is us going out to be grateful for the other things. And the thing that's so magical about this is we are practicing being grateful and being actively appreciative of the world. And the more we do this behavior, the more we become grateful with it, and we become more grateful people. So that's why you need to do it specific and do it as something new each and every time. So here's how I like to do it. I write out the first thing is a very profound thing. The second thing is an often taken for granted thing. The third gratitude or blessing that I put down is what I call the no good, very bad, horrible appreciation. And that is, that's where something is bad, quote unquote bad, and you write out why you're grateful for that and maybe the good that can come for that, like a silver lining, on a dark cloud in your life. So there's that one. And then the last two, the final two that make the Mighty 5 are the free-for-alls. And that is, you can be grateful for absolutely anything. It can be events in your past, events that you might have in your future. I often like to use a specific person and why I'm grateful for that particular person in my life. It could be anything along those. And again, where the good is done in this and where our brains get better and better and more grateful and prone to gratitude is when we are working it and going out and thinking of all the things that we actively appreciate in the world. And just the last thing about this is the profound thing is something that's really profound in our world, like something that you could consider a miracle. Like one day I woke up and I heard my wife breathing next to me, and I thought, what a miracle that her lungs are working and it's providing oxygen to all areas of her body, and what a miracle that is. And I wrote that down that day as a profound blessing because it is so wonderful. So that's an example of a profound blessing. And then the often taken for granted blessing, the number 2 blessing on this, it's things that you wouldn't think about in the absence of a practice like this. And I hope you can think about that. Like I've thought of the engineers who helped make the door of my car so solid to protect me and my family. Or to carry that further, maybe the stripes in the road. I've written that down before. The stripes on each of the road that keeps each of us safe on our side of the road. no one ever thinks about the people that took the time and the effort to actually paint those, or the taxpayers who paid for it, but I'm grateful for them to help make my family more safe. And that's an example of an often taken for granted blessing. So again, that is a profound blessing, taken for granted blessing, a no good, very bad, horrible blessing of why something is bad, that something is bad could be considered good, and then 2 free-for-all blessings to make out the 5. And again, I'd suggest writing it out, and I again prefer to do this in the morning, although I also do it at night oftentimes to end the day really well, and I call that the bookend practice. But writing it out at the beginning of the day is going to have you grateful all day long and looking for things to write down on your gratitude list and opening our hearts, our minds, and our souls to the wonder that is this world. So the second gratitude technique that I'd tell you about is the Dyer technique. And I've actually done an entire video about this and why it works and how to put it into your life. But simply put, the Dyer technique is something I learned from Dr. Dyer in a movie that he did called The Shift. And in it, he sits up first thing in the morning, he looks up, closes his eyes, and he says the words, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And that is the very first thing that he does when he wakes up in the morning with that. And I have done that actually a few thousand times at this point, and I can tell you the days that I do that, this simple technique takes less than 30 seconds a day. The days that I've done that, I've had a much, much better day. So I'd encourage you to wake up with an alarm that actually says thank you, thank you, thank you, or wake up to a song that causes you to be grateful, and wake up to that song so the first thing that you feel in the morning is a sense of gratitude, and to be able to say thank you, thank you, thank you. That is the Dyer technique. So the third technique I'd like to talk with you about is the joy alarm. Now this one's very near and dear to my heart, and I've been doing it, gosh, for about 8 years now. And for about 8 years total, every day at 7 p.m., my phone alarm goes off and it plays the song "What a Wonderful World" by Louis Armstrong. And when that song goes off, and it always surprises me, it interrupts my day in a very pleasant way. And that song starts, and I hear Louis Armstrong's voice on it, and right then and there, I just start to think about things that I'm grateful for. And if I'm not driving, if I'm able to, I can close my eyes and I can actually feel it and think of all of the reasons that I'm so grateful to be alive, and that why today is a great day, and about my loved ones, and about the opportunities in life, and our 5 senses, and just anything that I can bring to mind and think of, just to pause during a really hectic day, to stop and think about the blessings that we have and why we can and should be grateful for those. So that is the joy alarm. And actually, if you're watching this, I would encourage you to pause it, pull out your phone, and set a joy alarm at whatever time that you want during the day. Set a song that you like, and when that alarm goes off each and every day, you can stop, you can pause, and you can just be grateful. And I think you'll find that that will improve your life in almost every aspect. So the fourth one I'm going to introduce you to today might sound a little strange, and once again, it is very, very simple, and it's so easy to do. And that is what I call the coin technique. And I learned this from my friend Scott. And actually what you can do is you just put a coin, just a penny or a quarter, but what you do is you stop and you put it in your shoe for the day. And I know this sounds strange, but I can tell you after about 8 or 9 years of doing this, you never ever get used to having a coin in your shoe. And when you're walking, you can feel it move around. And for me, as soon as I feel it move around, boom, that is a chance for me to be mindful, to stop and pause. And in this case, we can use it for a moment of gratitude, just to be grateful for everything in our life. But of course, I really like using that as a moment of gratitude and just to be grateful. So that is the coin technique. And actually, if you have your shoe handy and you have a coin, you can just do it right now. Take a coin, put it in your shoe, and you can thank me later. So the fifth and final gratitude technique we'll talk about today is what I like to call the flood o' gratitude. And this is very simple, it's very easy, and I would recommend breaking the glass in case of emergency on this one. If you're feeling bad or you're anxious or you're worried about something, then try this technique. And it's as simple as setting your timer for an arbitrary amount of time, say 15, 20, or 30 minutes. Maybe play some music that you like, and you start writing out in your journal or any other place all of the things that you can think of to be grateful for, and just let them flow out, and whatever that is. And in this case, you're not explaining this or writing a huge paragraph about each one, but you want to have a flood of gratitude coming through your mind. An example, I just did one, have 2 full pages of things that I'm grateful for on this, and the next page as well. And I actually had my school do this when they were, as an exercise for them. And just write out everything that you can think of with that. And you'll find, if you're anything like me, that this pulls you out of thinking about the bad things in life and has your focus on the things that are good. And again, we call it the flood o' gratitude practice. And pull out your journal, do that now, and I think you're going to find that you're going to feel really, really good. Those are the 5 gratitude techniques. Now, again, something that I would encourage you to do is to take 1 or 2 of these and put them in your life right away, and just have them set on autopilot, like maybe the coin in the shoe and the joy alarm. And you can just start doing that. Put the coin in your shoe, set the joy alarm now on your phone before the good intention leaves you and you forget about this. When you start doing those and feeling the difference in each and every day and how you feel, and start building that gratitude, I think that you're going to want to continue each of these exercises. But of course, you pick the ones that you like. You can tailor them any way that you want. And when you start doing these every day, it starts sprinkling every day with gratitude. And it can and will change your life when you start looking through that paradigm of gratitude and changing the way that we look at things in the world. Now, if you would like to get a list of these so you can remember and create your very own gratitude practice, just go to greatatgratitude.com and you can download my blueprint for free, and it gives you a way to make your very own personalized gratitude practice. That's greatatgratitude.com. And also, you might want to check out my other videos here about gratitude, the Dyer technique. We'll be doing one on the joy alarm, the coin technique, the flood of gratitude. Each one of them will get their entire video to help out your gratitude practices and these techniques to help you become more and more grateful. As always, thanks a lot for watching this. You are loved and you are deserving, and I hope you know that. Thanks.